Hi everyone, this is Angelica. Thank you so much for watching today. Today's video is a video that's been requested by a few different people within the past week. And I usually notice that, you know, we as a collective are sometimes on the same wavelength, sometimes not always. But just in case you wanted to know this particular information, it's really important, and I hope that you will gain some insight from it. So it's going to be about how to transition into a raw food diet, how to get healthier, how to correct diseases, how to just kind of shine more of your inner light outwards, and kind of freeing yourself from some of the blockages that you have by following more of a raw food diet plan. And as I'm going to tie into that also, because somebody else wanted to know, what do I eat on a daily basis? So what is my, regular pattern? Now, everybody's different. I am a holistic dietitian, so I realize that there's all different kinds of body types. And also, you can't just always jump from one way lifestyle into a whole nother one instantaneously. Things take time. You need to ease into things and give yourself a chance to adjust. It's always best to do one thing at a time. So what I always recommend people to do, instead of like take away things, because it's just so hard to like take things away, you want to add more healthy things into your daily diet plan. So as far as raw food diet goes, if you don't know already, it's basically fruits and vegetables and some nuts and seeds if you aren't allergic to those. I find myself not really always, I don't eat them hardly at all. But sometimes when you're first going into a raw food diet, you might want to make some recipes with some nuts and seeds, and that's fine. And I think I like seeds better than nuts. They're really hard to digest. You have to soak them and sprout them, and that's a whole process in itself. And then when you get further down, into eating more healthy, you realize that you might not even need to eat those. But anyway, there's lots of different ways you can approach the raw food diet. But to begin where you're at, if you're still eating meat, if you're still eating dairy, if you're still eating bread and gluten products, then you would probably just want to start with one thing, okay? You want to include either in the morning, like a smoothie, like a fruit smoothie, to eat for breakfast. You want to replace one of your meals with a raw food meal, just one, and do that for a few months. Let your body adjust. Give your body time to really integrate that change that you've made. So if you don't want to do that one, you could also do, instead of eating like a regular lunch, you could have like a huge salad for lunch instead. So what the whole thing is that people get scared that they're going to be really hungry on a raw food diet. And now it's mainly a mental thing, I think. We don't really need as much food as we're eating. I think people eat sometimes it's just a habit. It's like an emotional thing too. People are really attached to eating and stuff like that. And, it can be, good to, bond with your family or other people too through eating. So eating is a big subject that people have a lot of emotional ties to. But when it comes to like thinking that you're going to starve or anything like that, that's simply not true. And as you get further along with your spiritual awakening journey, as well as your particular journey with food and health, you'll come to find that you need less and less food to actually maintain and do what you do on a regular basis. Now, if you are very active, if you run a lot, or if you work out a lot, you may need more calories. So it would be good to incorporate more fruit into your diet, because fruit is really high in calories, but it's not going to take you up and down, and you're not going to crash on it. Because it does give you a boost of energy, but not the same as like, honey or refined sugars, or even bread and gluten. They have that thing in them where they take you up and then down. So you know, there's just so much to this topic. So the basic thing is if you want to transition into a raw food diet, start out small. Start by first, you know, just eating an extra salad a day or an extra smoothie a day. Maybe not even replace a meal if you don't feel you can do that. Just add something and then something else will fall away. You will gain health. You will gain vibrancy. You will be so much happier if you eat a salad every day, every single day. Now you have to make a commitment. You have to, you know, say, okay, I'm going to do this, you know, or I'm going to eat, you know, I'm going to eat this fruit smoothie every day. And it has to be only fruit. You don't want to add anything else to it. You don't want to add, you know, you don't need anything else. Just pure fruit is fine. And I'll give you some examples to tell you what I eat normally. But basically, yeah, that's how you would start a raw food diet. Because what the fruit will start to do is it'll start to break up. Fruit's very cleansing, so it's going to start to break up some of that those hardened toxins in your body and in your digestive tract, and it will start to cleanse you. And as you cleanse, your mind cleanses. And it's just a process, a total process, a physical process of like letting go of a lot of stuff that was stuck inside. Now, all the bodies are all connected. I hope I'm not talking too fast. I want to get a lot of information out in the short amount of time that I have. And so I hope I'm not talking too fast. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below the video and I'll get back to you with a response. But if you, all the centers are connected, all the parts of the body are connected, your emotions are connected to your physical body, your spiritual body is connected to your physical body, everything's connected to your physical body. Now, we have our physical body here, and we have the ability to have some sort of, you know, effect and impact on our physical body. So with knowing that, maybe we don't have so much control over our emotional body. Maybe we don't have so much control over our spiritual body. We do have control over the physical body because it's here in the physical realm. So the best thing that we can do to affect those other more ethereal type of bodies that we do have, we just can't really affect them or see them as much, is through our physical body. So by eating correctly, by exercising, by giving our bodies these things that will nourish it and cleanse it, then we will become more open and more sensitive to the spiritual realms, to our emotional releases, whatever it is. If our body is healthy, then we're healthy mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. It all goes hand in hand. Okay, so you will find, if you're on a spiritual awakening, that you will be starting to think you don't want to eat meat anymore, you don't want to eat dairy anymore. These things will fall away slowly. Now, they're not going to just happen, you know, tomorrow, but they will slowly start happening, and you will have to go on maybe a journey of seeing what works for your body and what doesn't work for your body as far as food goes. There's no like right way for everybody, so you do have to you know, test it out and see what works for you. Quickly, I just want to go over what I eat mainly every single day. What I find is that when I eat the same consistent diet daily, I feel the best. If I go off that diet and I add other things or start doing something different, or then it really has a bad effect on my particular body. Your body like gets used to what you're eating, and so it can run at its highest level. You want to usually do a similar kind of diet every day if possible. Okay, so what I do first is I drink water in the morning. So I drink a lot of water. I'm trying to think. I don't know how many ounces it is. I should have probably figured that out. But I just drink, your intuition will tell you, just drink a lot of water. You really want to cleanse your body in the morning. And so this will help to, you know, just keep your body cleansed. You need a lot of water. And so I drink my water, a lot of water in the morning, first thing before I do anything else. And usually I won't get hungry until around maybe 11, maybe 10. And then when I do, I eat a smoothie and fill up the Vitamix blender till the top, to the top. And I always, I use different kinds of fruits. It just depends. Bananas, apples, oranges, just the basics. Then I love pineapple, so I eat pineapple a lot. Grapes, berries. Sometimes, usually in the summer is when you get the more like exotic type fruits and stuff like that. And then in the winter, they're not as accessible. So you got to just go with what you have and work with what you have. But I like melon a lot, cantaloupe and regular honeydew melon. So I'll just kind of, put whatever I have in the blender and I'll fill it up to the top and I'll drink the whole thing. Okay, that's a lot. It seems like a lot, but that carries me through till later on usually around 4 or 5 when I eat one more big meal. And then that's usually all I eat because you don't want to eat too late in the day because your body can't process and digest foods. Past a certain time, your body starts slowing down and you don't want to, you don't want to put a lot of like heaviness on your body when you're trying to relax, and because your body, instead of repairing the body, like when you sleep and rest, the body goes into like repair mode, and instead of repairing the body, it's trying to break down all this food that you ate really late at night, and it's really not the best thing for your body. So trying to eat a little bit earlier, eating your last meal, not past 5 is probably a good idea. We can't all do that, obviously, because of our work schedules and stuff like that, but just do your best to eat as early as possible so that your body has a chance to break down the food. Well, I feel like I'm talking really, really fast because I don't want to make the video too long. Okay, so I eat that in the morning, and then, that's the other thing. You want to eat fruits, okay, and like more fast-burning foods earlier in the day because it's going to give you energy. So if you go running or if you're doing some kind of physical activities that require a lot of energy, fruit is going to give you that energy that you need, and it's going to really nourish you as well. Tons of vitamins and minerals. Okay, so my big meal in the evening, what I'll usually have is I have tons of greens. So I'll either eat kale, and I'll just get a whole thing of kale and I'll chop it up. And usually with kale, to break it down a little so it's easier to eat and chew, because kale's a real heavy, like hard to chew vegetable, I'll chop it real thin, and then I'll put a little tiny bit of salt and olive oil on it, and that starts to break it down. And so while that's breaking down, then I'll do all the other vegetables, cucumbers, celery, carrots. I do so many things. I do mushrooms sometimes, sprouts. I absolutely love sprouts. And I do make my own sprouts. I have a little sprouter. I put the little seeds in and they sprout. You can also sprout lentils, which is really good. I might make a video if you guys are interested in learning how to sprout lentils. And you can sprout almonds. It's interesting, but they don't have a sprout coming out of them, but they are fully pre-digested, and I really like to eat my almonds that way. You soak them and then sprout them. You can even put them out in the sun, and then they'll get more of a little crunchy texture, and you could even put different flavors on the almonds. But pretty much I eat a huge salad, huge bowl of salad, with just all different kinds of vegetables, like any vegetable you can think of. And it always changes, and I just go off my intuition. Like when I'm buying vegetables, I'm just like, oh, what does my body need? What do I feel like eating? I do like, sometimes I like heavier, like fatty things like avocados. It just depends. I'll eat avocados sometimes, olives, stuff like that. And I'll eat, not a lot of olive oil, but I'll put olive oil and lemon juice on my salads all the time. That's basically my dressing. Sometimes you can make a good dressing, but I usually just like that. So it just all depends, and that's what I eat in a day, pretty much. It's pretty simple. Now, if I'm having like a special occasion or something like that, then I'll make something that's more like gourmet raw. Okay, so you can pretty much make anything raw that you can make cooked. So you can make spaghetti. You can make spaghetti out of zucchini, and you can put, you can make the sauce with sun-dried tomatoes and regular tomatoes. You can make tacos, raw food tacos. Everybody loves those. Every time I make those, they really, really like those. You can make like tostado shells, like in the dehydrator. You can make, so you can pretty much make anything raw. You just have to have the recipes. And if you go online on a search for raw food recipes, there's tons of them, so you shouldn't have any problem. If you really are into sweets as well, which I'm not so into, it took me a long time to even get to eat a lot of fruit because I realized I needed more calories and I needed to cleanse more. And so I just am not into sweet stuff as much. Sometimes I am, but they do have a lot of raw food sweet recipes that are really, really good. Like the best cheesecake I've ever had in my whole life is raw. So, and it's not made, it's all raw and it's vegan. So anyway, that's pretty much what I eat in a day. If you have any questions for me, or if I need to clarify anything else, please let me know. And if you would like to schedule a spiritual guidance session with me, please go on my website, which is below the video. Also, I do holistic diet counseling sessions. So if you'd like to schedule one of those with me, you can also go on my website below and schedule that. Okay, so I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.